Hey everybody, this is Rob, and things are kind of shitty right now. I made a complete video for an unboxing of this PlayStation 4 Pro, and about, I don't know, 30% in, I ran out of space. And I was pissed when I just checked it. Oh, man, I don't, you know what? It's my fault. I screwed up. I didn't clear off enough space on the camera, and well, now you're stuck with this. It's not such a bad thing. I mean, I'll still talk about what I was talking about before, but it's just not as cool. I mean, I can't put everything back in the box and re-unbox it, right? So, whatever. We'll just deal with it. This is the PlayStation 4 Pro, guys. That's what it looks like. This is the original PlayStation 4, and I mean original launch PlayStation 4. It's even got the original shiny hard drive cover. There was actually another release after this that had a matte cover for the hard drive. And then, of course, after that, they released a PlayStation 4 Slim a few months ago. And then finally, this November, October 10th, in fact, almost 3 years since that one was released, we get the PlayStation 4 Pro. Kind of a weird thing. I mean, we're doing like what is this? Like a mid-generation update? I mean, I don't know what they're doing. It's almost like they didn't have the PlayStation 4 finished, and they're like hardware patching it now. Like, this is what it should have been, because this, I mean, I love gaming. I love consoles. I always buy the new consoles. I support all the companies, and well, actually, I buy the consoles from all the companies, and I only support the ones that release games that I want to play. This generation, it's been the PlayStation 4, but I was really disappointed with this generation. I'm talking Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It was I don't know. When I think of a new generation, I think of like a big leap in graphics. And the graphics from PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, or even Xbox 360, Xbox One, it just wasn't a big jump. They were, I mean, they weren't even like full 1080p 60 frames per second. And if you look at screenshots of PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 games like Metal Gear Solid 5, I mean, you can almost not even you can't even tell the difference most of the time. If you see it running, sure, it looks a little bit better, higher frame rates or whatever, maybe a couple of different effects here and there, but for the most part, it kind of sucked. I'm talking about the hardware update kind of sucked. So, I mean, what they're doing here is too little too late. Well, I mean, do we really have a choice? It's not like there's anybody else out there, at least not at this price point. And that's really why they did this, right? When they moved from the PlayStation 3 to this guy, they didn't want to lose money. I mean, when they released the PlayStation 3, they lost a lot of money up front. And it took a long time to recoup that. So when they went to PlayStation 4, they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't try to we shouldn't shoot for the moon. We should just kind of, maybe just to the upper atmosphere of Earth, and people, maybe they won't notice. They'll be excited. I mean, I was excited too, but so I don't know. This thing. So let's talk about this, right? So what does it come with? Let's pretend we're doing it. We just did an unboxing, which I actually did do. Let's pretend we did an unboxing, and now we're going over the stuff. So this is the controller. I mean, it's supposed to be a little bit different. This is the original controller. I don't know. Can you guys tell the difference? Because I held them like maybe like this is shiny and this is like matte, I guess. So that's different. But design-wise, the sticks feel the same. I think these are supposed to be a little bit more rubbery. I don't know. Maybe, I guess a little. But for the most part, if I handed you this controller and didn't tell you it was from the PlayStation Pro, you would not know it. It's pretty close to the original. The consoles themselves, obviously it looks a little bit different. It's got this third layer. It looks like a 3-layer cake versus a 2-layer cake. It's actually not that much taller. It's a little bit taller. It's a little bit longer and a little bit wider as well. It's certainly heavier. It's about a pound heavier. I haven't turned it on yet, but I've heard that the fan's a little bit louder on this too. It does have a slightly different, not slightly different, it's pretty much different, just different, power connector. So it's got this type of power connector. I think that looks like almost what goes into the Xbox 360 brick. I didn't check it, but it looks something like that. And this one uses the standard kind of figure 8. When we use that for the PlayStation 3 as well, at least the slim PlayStation 3. So yeah, they moved to this. I guess it's a power hog. I mean, they're supposed to play the same games. It's just that this is supposed to play the games a little bit better. I don't know. I guess. I mean, I can't even say at a higher resolution or higher frame rate because it just depends on the game. I don't know. So Sony has mandated that every game that comes out should be able to play on this. If they play on this, they'll have this little thing that says PlayStation 4 Pro Enhanced, a little logo on it. But how they enhance it is totally up to the developer and publisher. If they want to make, so maybe the game on the PlayStation 4 original plays at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Maybe this one plays it at 60 frames per second, 1080p. Or maybe this plays at 30 frames per second and has, I don't know, some certain effects, and this one has like 1080p plus additional effects. Or maybe this one will play it at 4K. Well, this one will only play at 1080, with the same effects. So it's really up to the manufacturer, or the developer, I should say, how to enhance their games, right? So it's kind of screwy. I don't know. I really don't like this mid-generation. I'd be fine if this was around for a couple more years and then we just got a whole new generation update. I know people hate it, but it would be nice that, if maybe they made it backwards compatible, because now they're basically PCs. We're going the PC route, right? First, it started with software and, internet connectivity, and with that came software updates, shipping games that weren't done. You got huge day one patches. Even you have day one patches for firmware, or day one updates for firmware when you get consoles. They're not even done. These things aren't done. They push them out the door and we'll finish them later, right? So in this one, it took 3 years, but we finally got this version. So it's supposed to have double the computational power as that one. We will see how that ends up panning out with regard to games. But this one doesn't even have a 4K Ultra Blu-ray disc drive. It's got the same disc drive that this one has, so you can't even play 4K Blu-ray drives or Blu-ray discs with this machine because it doesn't have the appropriate drive. The Xbox One S, that's even a worse thing. That's Microsoft kind of first mid-generation update, because they have a Scorpio coming out next year, and the Scorpio sounds like quite a bit of an upgrade over the Xbox One. The Xbox One lags behind the PlayStation 4 in general, so except for the fact that the Xbox One S, which they added this summer, has that 4K Blu-ray drive that allows it to play 4K movies on disc. This one will allow you to play 4K movies streaming only on Netflix or whatever, Hulu or Amazon Video. I'm not sure if Hulu is one of those, but I know Amazon Video and Netflix do 4K streaming. But you can't play 4K discs, which is super dumb because Sony was the inventor of Blu-ray, right? And now Microsoft's leading the way with Blu-ray discs. They're using the 4K. Now, if you don't have a 4K TV, should you get a PlayStation 4 Pro? Maybe. If you've got a PlayStation VR, probably. Because the PlayStation VR is also enhanced with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Again, it just depends on the game what that enhancement means. But for instance, like if you're playing Last of Us, which is really a PlayStation 3 game. If you're playing Last of Us on this, you get whatever the updated resolution or whatever. But if you play it on this, it has additional settings. I think, if I read correctly, you can actually play Last of Us on the PlayStation 4 Pro in native 4K, which is pretty crazy. Last of Us is an old game, right? It's a PlayStation 3 game, so it's not that crazy. But 4K gaming is pretty tough to do, and this is a $400 machine. Okay, it's not like so. There's $3,000 and $4,000 PCs with very high-end graphics cards, much higher end than the ones in either one of these, and they can barely do 4K gaming at 30 frames per second. Some can do it at 60 frames per second. So if you have a $3,000 or $4,000 machine that can barely do it, how are you going to do it on a $400 machine? Well, the answer is they kind of cheat. It's not true 4K. They'll render, excuse the throat. I'm getting over a cold I've had for like 2 weeks, so it's still kind of lingering. But, okay. Like I was saying, the 4K gaming on this, they kind of cheat. Boy. My throat's really... I'm not even going to edit this shit out. We're just going to go. We're going with it. Powering through. The 4K gaming on this is kind of they're upscaling. Basically, they render it maybe at the same resolution as they do here, and then they upscale it, meaning they add pixels to it in a smart way using some kind of secret cool math. Maybe not secret, but some kind of cool math that makes it look better. So, I don't know. It's not really 4K. It is... look, short version. This will make your games look better than that. Okay? Fair enough? Not all games, but if it has the PlayStation 4 logo. It will play everything that plays, Plus, it has an upgraded Wi-Fi. It's got AC instead of, this one has 2.4N Wi-Fi. This one has AC. I don't know if it has 5 gigahertz N, because this one didn't. That kind of sucked, because the Xbox One had 5 gigahertz N Wi-Fi support. But anyway, this one has AC support. It has upgraded Bluetooth. Not that that should matter for most of you. It's got Bluetooth 4.0 on it now. It's got an extra USB port in the back. Let me show you the back. So it's got an extra USB port in the back, so that if you have a PlayStation VR, you don't have to mess around with cables coming out of the front. So you can have, because those are the only USB ports on the back of this guy. This one has, should have them. There's the two USB ports in the front. And it's got that extra USB port right there, so that you can hook up your PlayStation VR with all the cables coming out of the back instead of some in the back and one in the front. So that's kind of cool. What else does it have? Well, it's got an HDMI 2.0 port, so it allows it to do 4K video as opposed to the 1.4 HDMI port on the regular PlayStation 4. It's still got an Ethernet jack. It's still got the optical out. The PlayStation 4 Slim, which came between these two, it's a little bit smaller. That one doesn't even have an optical out, and they removed it. I don't know why. Well, I guess it's because of cost, but how much really can an optical out port cost? Well, enough that they felt like taking it out. So this one retains that. What other upgrades does it have? It has, well, inside, I mean, you can't see it from ports or anything, but it's, of course, it's got an upgraded CPU. It went from 1.6 gig to 2.1 gig. So not a huge update. I mean, that's like a 30, I think I worked it out, it was like 31.25%, if I remember correctly, updates in CPU speed. It's got, so I don't know how they did this, but they're claiming that it's got more, more than double the capabilities on the graphics side. The GPU is supposedly doing 4.2 teraflops of computations versus the 1.84 teraflops that computation that one does. And they're doing it even though, from what I could tell, unless I read this wrong or the website was wrong, from what I could tell, they're only bumping up the speed of the GPU from 800 megahertz to 911. But I guess if you couple that with the CPU updates or the CPU speed update and the additional gig of RAM that they've added to offload so what they did is they added 1 gig of DDR3 RAM for non-gaming applications. So that frees up the GDDR5 RAM, which is much faster RAM to use for gaming. So I don't know, whatever they did, I mean, it's supposed to have over double the computational power as that one. But we'll see how that translates to games. What else does it have? Anything else that I missed? It doesn't have optical drive. What else? It doesn't have the 4K optical drive. Oh, the 4K Slim should probably, not the 4K Slim, the PlayStation 4 Slim also has the updated AC, Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth 4.0 as well. It doesn't have the extra 3.0 port though, and it removes the optical port. So this is really the one to get. I mean, it's $100. Is it worth $100? Absolutely. Is it worth? Boy, my voice is shot. And not to mention, I did that huge long unboxing video before this video. I'm just this is like my makeup video. So is it worth updating from this to this if you already have one of these? Well, that depends. Do you have a 4K television? If you do, then yes, just go ahead and do it. If you have a PlayStation VR, but not a 4K TV, maybe. It definitely doesn't hurt. If you don't have a PlayStation 4, it's a no-brainer. Get this one. Don't even bother with the old one. Just don't even bother with it. Get the new one because it's future-proofing and it improves your 1080 gaming, or can improve 1080 gaming as well as do 4K. So you might as well get this one. Really, it's $400. If it's a lot to you, sell your old one. Sell your old one for $200. It's $200 upgrade. It's definitely worth a $100 upgrade. If it's worth $200, if you can afford it, yes, I would get it. But it really depends on the games. If you just go to Google, you can go to Sony site too, but you can just Google what games support the PlayStation 4 Pro mode. Take a look at those. If those are important to you, or if you see some things coming down the pipe, like Last Guardian, that's supposed to support the 4K. Or the PlayStation Pro. Pretty much anything's first party. If you're looking forward to any first party stuff from Sony, it's all going to support the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I suspect all the big AAA titles will also support additional modes. God damn it. Additional modes for the PlayStation 4 Pro. But yeah, I was gonna, originally I talked about 4K versus 1080p and 720p and all that crap. But all you have to know is this sucker looks better. It's out now. I think you can still get them. I think that you can still get it from GameStop. I did go to Walmart early today because I was looking for an NES Classic, which I eventually found on the GameStop site, and hopefully I can get one at GameStop in the morning. But we'll see. So I went there to go check out. See if they had the NES Classic, and I saw that they had the PlayStation 4 Pro section on the shelves, but no PlayStation 4 Pro there. So I don't know if that was just my Walmart, if that was an anomaly. It's totally anecdotal evidence, but it may be hard to find a PlayStation 4 Pro for the holidays, or shit, there may be pallets of them. I don't know. But definitely, if you're giving away a PlayStation as a gift, get the Pro if you can afford it. It's only $100 more. Yeah, so if you have any questions about it, if you have any questions about the gaming, about anything to do with the mid-generational updates, 4K gaming versus 1080, anything like that, just let me know. Put it in the comments. Look for me on Twitter under the same name, or you can even find me on Facebook under the same name, honestly. Just send me a message. So anyway, thanks for watching. I mentioned the NES Classic Mini, or the Classic Edition, the little mini NES. I hope that is my next video, but we will see. If not, then we'll probably, if I can ever get my damn... I ordered Robinson, The Journey for my PlayStation VR. It was supposed to arrive 2 days ago. It's still not here. It even said it was on the damn truck and never showed up. So that may be another video I'll be doing soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Until next time.